Hello and welcome to the Bladedancer solo gameplay guide. Now, just to start off, I actually didn't make this spec myself. This spec was created by somebody known on the Rift forums as Muspol. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation of your name there too much, but it is basically the best spec for soloing pretty much anything in Storm Legion content. And also, you can take this spec and go back and do old world stuff. You can solo a few of the old raids. So in this guide, I'm just going to give you sort of a rough idea of how this spec is played, while basically talking over a load of pre-recorded video clips of me soloing stuff and doing stuff. So at the moment, you'll see I'm just, knocking about in the Queen's Gambit Chronicle. This isn't a guide for that. I've got a separate one up if you want to view that. But I'm basically going to show you how you can use this guide to sort of solo various bosses and handle, various situations, etc. So I'm going to go a bit into Bladedancer itself at the moment. So the spec, which I won't really explain the sort of talent point spread too much. It's basically 51 Bladedancer, 4 in Tactician, and then 21 in Riftstalker. Now, if you want to see sort of the reasoning behind the point spread, that'll all be in the description. I'll give a link to Muspel's written guide on this, etc., so you can read all through there. He's got a very sort of detailed explanation of why it's best to use this spread, etc., so you can have a read through that. But I'm going to explain the basics of Bladedancer. So Bladedancer basically revolves in rotating 5 different dances. You have 5 dances which are all on a 90-second cooldown and all will last 21 seconds. So there, I'll just go through them all. There's Blade and Soul Parity. So this gives a 50% boost to crit chance and crit damage and makes nothing cost energy. Dualism, which causes Quick Strike and Precision Strike to hit twice and grant an extra combo point. Blade Tempo, which increases physical damage by 30%. Double Coup, which increases your builder's damage by 75%. And Sidesteps, which increases your chance to dodge by 50%. Now, which one you use is very, very situational. So, for example, at the moment I'm dealing all AoE damage. So the only two that will be very useful to me are Blade Tempo, which increase physical damage by 30% because they're, it's AoE attacks, etc. And Blade and Soul Parity, which gives a 50% boost to my crit chance and crit damage. Now, the Bladedancer has sort of 4 AoE attacks. 2 of them are on a 30-second cooldown and hit extremely, extremely hard. And you want to use these pretty much whenever you're in an AoE situation and they're off cooldown. Ideally with either Blade and Soul Parity and Blade Tempo if they're up, because that'll give them a massive damage increase. But sort of the priority order you want to use them in is 100 Blades, which is sort of a channeled cone, which just double hits everything extremely hard. And then one that hits slightly less hard, but hits all the targets around you instead of in front of you, is Dancing Steel. Now, the other 2 abilities that you have is the Riftstalker one, which is Phase Disturbance, and also you have Double Strike, which doesn't hit too hard, but it serves as, something to fill it when you don't have anything else to hit, basically. So that is it in regards to AoE. In regards to single target, you have you have a move called Keen Strike, and after that you can use either one of 2 follow-up abilities. Now, the first of which is called Precision Strike, and that awards 2 combo points, but deals slightly less damage than the second one, known as Quick Strike, which only awards 1 combo point, but deals slightly more damage. So, as you can see, I've sort of macro Precision Strike into my Keen Strike ability, so I default use that because I'm very, very lazy. Sort of the difference between the two in terms of damage and the difficulty of content you're soloing, there's not too much need to min-max and sort of hit Quick Strike on a separate button, but as you can see on number 1 I've got Quick Strike just in case, I happen to need it for whatever reason. Now, sort of further going on, whenever you use a finisher ability, you get a buff which increases the damage of your next 3 attacks by, I believe it's something like 105%. So you can use that very sort of basically after you use a finisher, your next 3 attacks will hit very, very hard, as providing they generate a combo point. If they don't, then it has no effect or benefit on them. So just be aware of that. You might want to use sort of the various shifts because they hit extremely hard as well after you have used a finisher. Like I often use sort of Shadow Assault because that hits extremely hard. Okay, so finally, in regards to healing, there are 3 things. There is a curative engine, so every time you're getting hit, you're being healed sort of that little bit of that small amount of healing. So it's around sort of about 500 every time you get hit. So that's pretty good, and that'll keep you pretty topped off most of the time. Every time you kill a target, you'll also gain 150% of your attack power, healed over the next 12 seconds due to a talent point in Riftstalker called Boosted Recovery. So that'll keep you up as well. And the final one is a Bladedancer finisher. Now you don't need to use this, but it's kind of like an old shit heal if you need it. It's called Meditative Trance, and basically just put it on a separate button. It consumes combo points, so you ideally, when you use it, you want to have 5 combo points and use it, and that'll give you a heal which heals for about just up to 5k, depending on sort of your attack power, over about 12 seconds. So that provides that additional bit of healing. But with sort of all of these combined, they make you fairly invincible to a certain extent. There are certain hard-hitting single-target abilities and fights with ads that may not be able to keep up on, but in regards to soloing stuff, I mean, you can do Chronicles, you can do old content, the sky is your limit with this build. Really push it in and just see how much you can solo. I reckon you can actually probably kill the first boss in Green Scouts Blight 20-man raid on your own with this build. So I'd like to see somebody do that. I might give that a go later. Also, a bit of a disclaimer: my rogue is not terribly amazingly geared, so this isn't like a full best in slot super duper epics guide that you're gonna need to pull this off. Literally with a few pieces from experts and maybe 1 or 2 raid items, which my rogue has, as well as a full green sigil, which is absolutely crappy. Didn't use any enchants in this video or vials, so there's tons and tons of room for optimization, and there's just a lot of things that you can do with it. So I hope this has been useful to you. If you want to read the theory, look in the description below. I will add that, and you can get more of an idea and sort of read all the macros. All the macros will be there in Muspel's guide. He's done an absolutely amazing job with it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and take care and have a lovely day.